Human chair. Man chair. 3 days ago. Horrible memory that has been trapped into this is come to mind vividly. Oh, this from. Oh, this is not scary. That unreasonable chair. Well, is good in there of the armchair. Sanae-san sat down timidly to say the chair. And Nani. And something or rampage. I'm sorry. The other from now on. I do as you say in anything. I'm sorry. Well bowed, it faintly says the apology. At last. I did your idea Nasu. It is good. Once again this happens. The better you are honest. No wonder even you're for such no I. Sanae-san who had rebelled so much until yesterday. Suddenly, Nanti becomes so quiet. What there's always something. Quote. No, apart from. In woman thief is sharp eye. Are you droop opponent? While staring his stabbing. Moved on to the next question. But I heard from Kitamura and Ida. Gunateyu was the voice of the people in your room. Not Kudasara say that someone or not there is entered person to your room. True? Quote. No, I did not at all noticed. I did not hear anything. Mr. Sanae, I was not saying a lie. No, never. Quote. Quote. Black Lizard remains gazed at Mr. Sanae. Or crowded thinking something. Strange silence followed for a while. That no-go this ship to where? After barely, Mr. Sanae asked timidly. To this ship. The woman thief was awoke from Hatton and meditation. Destination of the ship. Or I'll tell you. I us now. Gonna running toward the Sea of Enshu in Tokyo. The Tokyo ne. To some secret place. There I of the private museum. Ho 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 ho. You'll want to apply to your eye to Sanae. To there. It is or it is no matter how the museums. You and in order to display the Egypt of the star in. Thus no I am in a hurry. Quote. 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 The ride to train. Yeah but are determined to fast. Be no live your luggage that you. I did not able to take the land by Bunaku. If a ship. But a little slow. Because it is quite safe. Sanae. By this no such I have ship. Older sister of Black Lizard is the air you prepared to properly steamship. Would have been surprised. But, I and at. Free for about a boats of such ship gonna there is sufficient financial resources to make to. I who. When you do not take the land route is. Every time we take advantage of this ship. Such good tool is Naku. Nanzo that the eye of the muscle, and escaped for a long time. I do not think even inferior, but Sanae is something with a stubborn appearance. Saw the flyers and black clothes women above Isukai. But as you say of it what? To go to such a place I hate. Well, that Anta is not ya at the thought Nanti go prefer favorite. I would not want. I can no take. No, I do not go, never. Well, it seems there's a large strange self-confidence. The Anta thinks even when he escape out in this ship. Quote, I believe I will please surely saved. There is no I is not at all afraid. And here the voice that was full of this belief Black Robe Lady did not have not scaring something. I believe that whom the Nano? Who'll save the Anta? I do not take you can see. The Sanae's tone. Gataki and guessing. Wondering strong conviction has been included. The frail lady, or what that was as strong as it was on earth with force. By chance. Kuraji new woman went pale a moment. Yeah, I do not sometimes do not know. Say whether let's, Koguro Akechi. Quote, oh dear, Mr. Sanae as was caught off the imaginary, was a rather how you feel dismay. I would have hit, who secretly in your room comfort you. Everyone is but to say Nanny's ghost. Haunted is not supposed to say things. Akechi would Koguro. That detective Mr. Wood I was promised I'll help Anta. No, I do that. No good I cheated. Now, to hear any more from Anta is nothing. Black clothes lady with a tremendous form, stood up and sook. Kitamura, tied as the basis of this daughter. Wearing a gag, as have been confined to that room. And, you also enter to the room. Over the key from the inside. Has a lookout to say another good I do. It would be nice is ready for pistol. Even if there is anything. If your relief does not know. Quote, Goodyear Sans certainly took over, later carrying off as Kitamura is dragging the Sane. But it went out into the Black Lizard, also hurriedly corridor. Just to there was of the Batsuka. Junichi's secretary length finished the ship of the search is coming back. Oh, Jun-chan, it is the identity of the ghost. Gonna Akechi detective. Akechi is gonna seems to be hiding in the ship somehow. Is. Once again, please let me look. Early. So also, the ship of the large search has been performed. Dozen sailors in the division of labor of well light shaking flashlight. Deck. Not reach the cabin. The engine unit Mosu, from the ventilator, was traveling around examined also to the bottom of the coal storage chamber. But, empty guess it is. Of course, this respectively even did not obtain clue. Water funeral. Black clothes lady. Vein drawing on the basis of the cabin. While attired a couch example. As trying to solve this difficult mystery. Had indulged in long during meditation. These regardless of the event. The engine incessantly active. The ship through the sky and water of darkness. At full speed, was going toward the east. The entire ship, the sound of the engine which vibration little by little. Incessant sound of break of surf hitting the boat slip. A large swell that attacked the time you have forgotten suddenly. Tremendous upset. Black Lizard is leaning on one arm of the couch. Something scary to see anything. Stared at after Kagazaki of the surface of the chaise longue. Even shook off. Was also unable to do with the horrible suspicion that come bubbling up. Is not it not but considered the other. We were exhausted looking for all the every nook and corner. All that is left only one. As it took in the blind spot of the people. Have forgotten the search. It was among the chaise longue. And increasingly the mind. Another. Faint and vibration of the engine. Faint beating. From the bottom of the cushion. I felt her to come transmitted to the skin. A human heart is beating. You beat someone heard lurking in the chair. She turned pale. Tied in the teeth. Had been holding sit still the urge to run away at any moment. But, thus while it is still. Beating that comes through from the chair. Seemed to go increasing its amplitude moment to moment. The other her. The sound of the waves did not hear the sound of the engine. However, under the S. Only beating. Not know the true character is. As if the drum sound. Rang been unusually enlarged. I could not take it anymore. Or escape. Whom escape? Even if the guy was hiding in this. Or not a rat in the bag. Fear not. Not Pom, there is something to be afraid not at all. Mr. Akechi. She ventured, while call in a loud voice, hitting the couch cushion and diligently. Then oh, really, from the chair, he voice was muffled in shadow answered. I like a silhouette, I'm not leave your affairs. Trichimic made of you is both large strange. Such as from the bottom of the earth. Or sounded come as from the wall. The dismal voice was shuddered involuntarily in black women. Mr. Akechi, do not fear. Harem just me ally. I is on the sea that does not reach the police hands. Afraid I do not either. What scared, paddle. Foo, not a better of you. Well, I wonder to a bad laugh how the feeling Nanti. Do not even try to get out of the chair. It is unabashedly. Guy, who might the bottom. I fear not gonna have impressed to you why we found this ship. But the ship did not know when I stuck beside you, it was supposed to come naturally to here. I do not know, to me a buckwheat. The man was able to shadow to you from the top of Sutenkaku as would have been not only just one person. Well, I know I'm nice no? Was the case. I will give praise. Shop of my husband was Koguro Akechi. I, Nanti Will was stupid. Anyo bandage Nanti would trust is said to otitis media. It would have been funny. Quote, Black clothes lady struck a kind strange of excitement. A person lying under her ass. As if there is any time in lover rather than the enemy. Had felt the strange illusion. Yeah, well, begas your state that had been Picasso what the intention is. It did not have it is not a pleasant little bit. A series strange conversation, when carried so far, has been suddenly the door opens. Enter the Junichi Amamiya of the secretary-length figure. He was holding us suspicious to strange voices in the room. Black Lizard is within the opponent unexpected said things. Signaled by applying a finger to quickly lips. Then, when the Junichi youth beckoned in along, take out a pencil and a notebook from the handbag that was in the table of buckwheat. While talking to casually Akechi in the mouth, hand ran over the busy notebook of paper. Notebook of characters Kano as you know Chuni Akechi Tantagiru. It as by chance. At the banks of the S bridge. Also was or is the sound of water or make a strange cry. Did not you manta of the act. Quote, Notebook of characters, Heiakumin na wokobi, durable na rope womadakoi, it's as you might guess. If at that time you will even out the face from Abarashoji, might have had on the thing. I thought it was the case. And then, why did Nasu, shadow? Within this conversation, Junichi young man, went away without added together she foot, to the outdoor. I borrowed the bicycle, so as not to lose sight of your ship, and the river bank from the river bank, was carried out by tailing the land. Then, waiting for the night indulge, managed to the ship asking for boat, to imitate, such as acrobatics in the dark. It was with barely climbed to the top of the deck. Quote, but well there was a guard who was on the deck. Iteo. So, had been slow badly to get down to the cabin. Then, to find a room that has been confined of Sine was a big change. When I think was finally found, look lol, the Zama, ship I'm had set sail again. Quote, if I have hidden and why did not you run away early? Such a place, is not that have been determined to be found, or a baraburu, but sorry is in the water in this cold. I'm so much I swim is not good. It then is the person who had been lying at the bottom of this warm cushion. It because no matter how or easy, it was a really strange conversation. One person is he lying in the darkness in the chair, to one person on top of the body. It is sitting at a cushion. Is just unexpected awa feel the body temperature to each other. Moreover, this two people grudge overlaps bitter enemy. Two dogs of fierce tiger to do Tobakakara the enemy's throat if roughness also like. As a habit, words only is strangely gentle. It was like a bedtime story of husband and wife. Hey kun, since I'm sleeping all the way here from dinner, I got tired, and now want to see also your beautiful face. Do I even get out of here? Is there any Shinsan Kibo? Akechi is more and more fearless. Sit. Do not go. We do not do as out there. When you find a man who does not have your life, Irishai a little more quietly. Really, whether you're me a bullet for me. Yeah, I do not want to lose the rival. To there. At the beginning of the Junichi youth, the 5 sailors, with a long rope, came in with care so as not to make a sound. Notebook of characters. Akechi Woisuno in Natoji Kaminamama, Outer Shell Rope Womagetsu Geti, Isagoto Dekarasi Henagane Konde Island E. The men, in accordance with the silence of the instruction, from Bankat's end, began winding along the rope. Black clothes lady laughing and grinning, so as not to get in the way of work. He stood up a chair. Hey, what came out of junior college? Someone. Or insidiously Akechi is. The odd sign of chairs outside. They are holding a good-natured suspicious. Yeah, are you wrapped a rope now? Before long, rope had almost wrapped around the entire chair. Roped at. I place you are, yeah I do. People a detective Tsumaki. Ho 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 ho. Now, Black Lizard has exposed the devil of nature. She looming in Suk in the forms of the one animal of Black Demon. Women and gave an order in a vigorous tone. Not think. Come on, guys. I spoof the chair. And, to the deck. 6 of the man. And Katsugi Ajeru the couch a bitter without any Sumaki. Rushed from Doda and the corridor to the stairs. In the chair. poor detective, like a fish that took the network, was the asphalt or writhing and peachy. On top of the deck was a star one, no dark night. Sky black water is also only one side anon. In it, the phosphorescence of Noctiluca, which is bubbled with screw, become a band of Ichija, was pulling a strangely white people in the long tail. 6 of the black priestess, while he katsui the couch-like coffin, stood on the boat slip. Ichichi, Stevenage, Sanin. Black shadow sliding the slogan Morotomo broadside. Phosphorescence of the water smoke go up and open. Oh, the name Detective Koguro Akechi finally was of too unsatisfying. Disappeared in Mokuzo of the Pacific Ocean. A treasure trove of underground banquets wrapped Akechi is. A moment, in the phosphorescent foaming at the stern, had been rotation round and round as though raw there. And too quickly, the black shadow got submerged underwater. It is a guy. The first water funeral was now no longer our nuisance, but that energetic Akechi teacher, and I think disappeared and fragile also of the seabed Mokuzu. Hey madam, may not be Chido, only poor I do not have. Quote, Junichi Amamiya is so as to look into the face of the black lizard, was heard abusive language. Because good, yours it down to the bottom quickly. Black clothes lady, ask him to tell off, and relegate the men to the cabin. Only one person, leaning against the railing of the stern, the surface of the water that now drunk the couch, had been quietly looking down. The sound of the screw to repeat the same rhythm. Wave front flow away in the same form. Springing stand Noctiluca phosphorescence, or ship of any water from flowing run. Rhythm defunct, there be alternative instinctive. It had just been insensitively repetition. Black clothes lady, in the cold night wind, even during the about almost 30 minutes, it had stood not even stuck. Then, when you have finally descended to the cabin, her face was illuminated in there with clearly Rui electric light had horribly pale. It is on the cheek after the tears had remained vividly. But I was once went to his cabin, as she is unexpected folded moi in there. Also out in the hallway, to the room, which is captivity of Sine. Walked and dizzy. When you knocked, sailors that Kitamura came out to open the door. You in advance a little, go over there, Mr. Sine is, because I have seen. By Shirazoko the Kitamura, she walked into the room. Mr. Poor Sine is tied up in the back hand. Fitted the gag. It had fallen in the corner of the room. Black lizard is doing it, solved the gag. Multiplied by the voice. Mr. Sine, gonna you may have to be announced in. Large strange bad thing. What you cry, I'm sure. Sine got up, did not answer while glared at the woman thief in the eyes full of hostility. Do I what you do know? Quote quote. Ho 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 ho. Koguro Akechi of Antaguardianis. I did Jima, died, while entered into that couch. Is Tsumaki, gonna had sunk to cry and see. Right now, gonna had been from the deck to Dopen in water funeral. Ho 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 ho. As Mr. Sine is scaring, was staring at the face of black clothes lady is laughing like a hysteric. It, no is true? Look at wondering. I face and I rejoice so too, lie. Yureshi-ku, in Shogun not I do things. But, Anta as I would have no doubt disappointed. Only one of the allies. The recourse. Cut since I had. The other. Someone who saved your wide gonna not even there to the world. Forever remain confined to me of a museum. Not a palm can again be worshipped the light of day. Quote, read the complexion of the other party, while you are listening to the words. That this bad news is not a lie never is. Has been found also to Sine. And, the fact that whether the death of the detective to mean for her, was clearly understood. I despair it, in inverse proportion to trust in the Akechi it was strong. The despair was miserable. She is now, during the terrible enemy strait, that you are in just alone, was a strong awareness. During a little bit of, by biting the lips, I had endured patiently, no longer completely is finally put up, while she was tied behind his hands. and bowed down on top of the knee, so as to hide the face. I began to cry and griping. Hot tears on top of the knee was incessant drip fell. I may leave Oyoshi, cried Nanti I undignified. Sissy no sissy. A look at it Black Lizard, but was scolded by the strangely high-pitched voice. She was also broken imperceptibly debris near the Sine, and also cheek of this vamp. Endlessly be no tears were flowing. The one in loneliness or lost a worthy opponent, or do something there was another reason. A woman thief is in the most strange sadness. Had been Uchi Hishika, or to the time of the extent, what is intended to kidnapping. Black Lizard and its prey, two people of the enemies was crying hand in hand like a relationship good sisters. Although the meaning of sadness was different respectively, depth intensity of grief, it looked like there is no change even a little. Black Clothes Lady wept loudly and voiced as 5-6 children. Then, Sune also invited, the same as in began to cry and hand Panashi. What that surprising, would have been insane sight. Now Kanahora was only two people of the innocent little girl. Or, it was not only innocent barbarians of two people. All intellect also emotions. All to frown a shadow. Only heartbreaking emotion had been exposed to a painfully. Chorus of this strange sadness, tangled with the monotonous sound of the engine. Forever. Lasted forever. Crying to cry, until the daily evil is Izamu to the chest of a woman pirate. Until raged as hostility in the mind of Sine. The next day, the evening steamer entered into Tokyo Bay, was down anchor near the coast of the landfill. The boat is unloaded waiting for the deeper the darkness. The number of people riding in it, and managed a corner with no human eye landfill, leaving 3 people rowing hand to the boat. Landed is given a black robe women, and Sune was Junichi Amamiya youth. Sune is on, which is fitted with a gag remains tied his hands, has been to hide the eye with a thick cloth, because approached more and more to the den of the Black Lizard. It would be wary not convince the Mishijun. Amamiya young man, take off the sailor's clothing hid the face to the mustache and the cheek beard. Khaki operative's clothes is a cuckoo, such as weaver's length of seemingly a machine factory. In T landfill spacious factory district. Housing is almost the time that the industry slump era, because there was none such as factories engaged in night work. In addition to the pale street lamp is standing sparsely night denghuo also not visible. It was the location, such as the ruins, 3 people, the horizontal the wide grassland following the coast cut, the road of the factory district. The end was walking round and round around, went to say is to be deemed to be replaced first instance of the abandoned factory. Fences torn, gatepost the slope, the monanai weeds lush grow in boo-boo. Baraki factory was enigmatic monster mansion. Since the course denghuo no one is like. Black robe lady and braille a flashlight prepared, while illuminating the along the ground. Stand above in fumi shidai weeds. From the later, so as to embrace the eye hidden has been Sune's back. Go follow the Amamiya youth of operative's clothes. 5 from the gate, and go between the 6. There is a building of large wooden. Flashlight has passed so stroking the side of the building and a lot of glass windows. However, the glass is all fell torn. Satisfying thing is there is no one. Black clothes lady a broken door of the building. Open gatapishi. Going to say is to the inside full of cobwebs. Flashlight. Destroyed a machinery. Shaft rusty crawl the ceiling. Driving wheel. And torn belt. Glanced harmlessly off one after another. Was stopped in the end. The building of the corner. In the office in Oboshiki small room supervisor there were 3 people as to open the glass door torn there. I went up on the floor of the plate beams. Break even, tons tapping. Black clothes women's shoes of heel with a tone kick the floor. There is surely common Morse code. But, was not the difference in something of the signal? The unexpected Thomas or the footsteps ceased. It floorboards in the round light of the flashlight. as the square 3 feet. The sound is also open to no smooth stop and horizontal, but the ground of the concrete has emerged from under it. Surprisingly is the ground itself. It become very thick door, such as the tame of elephants. It and fall down, and gaping, black mouth of the underpass opened. Madam, who at a low voice resounds from the bottom of the earth. Oh, today has brought an important customer. Among the silences after, am me a young man holding a back a Sane-san. The stairs of the underpass. Taking care, going down more one stage. When the lost even appearance of the black robe women in underground subsequently. Hidden door of concrete also. Floorboards also closed restored. After also, was the darkness of the abandoned factory. Such as what each also did not fear museum. Mr. Sane, when possessed the boat from the ship, because there were remains a strict eye hidden. Whether the boat arrived to where, how walked to or where landed. Here is whether the ground of the one underground of the totally did not stick even imagine. Sane, gonna it. Come on already say I was a lot feel cramped. Jun-chan, is good to bring in the completely free. When I think was the kind seems the voice of Black Lizard. Went rope of dag in both hands is unwound sequentially. Field of vision has become lightly packaged in the bright. Her eyes had been pressed against the dark eyes hidden for a long time. Was a bright mo of the more dazzling. There is ceiling nor floor. Left and right of the wall was also encased in concrete. It was a place, such as the long bend curved corridor. From the ceiling, it was turned down chandelier of ornate kirikogarasu, illuminated in the glittering and dazzling light. Glassed in display stand aligned with zerari to the left and right of the wall side. Among them, jewel of every shape, in response to the light of chandelier, were twinkling like a myriad of stars. Mr. Sane, much of the beauty, the luxury, forget the captivity, raised the voice of involuntarily met with admiration. Daily daughter's large jeweler supposed jewelry as familiar as tedious as. He was surprised to make a voice. It is there, and the quality and quantity of not jewelry was matter how did that gathered. Would not even reach kuda shiku. I know me impressed, well. I this know of I of the museum. No, I know book of the entrance of the museum. What? Compared to the display of the anta shop. Never saw the decoy will not as. During the 10 years, over a period of life, squeeze the wisdom of wisdom. Committing the risk of danger. Collected do something. Dat to any noble jewelry storehouse of personage around the world. I think this much number of is not gathered. Black clothes lady while proudly explained. Opened the handbag that had cherished likely. Took out a silver small a box that contains the large jewels Egypt of the star in the example. The aunt of your father. But was Chito just feel sorry. This I did was a long sought between me long. Only today, it was supposed to be fit to the museum. When you open the lid of the snap and small a box. In response to the light of chandelier, flame and flaming large jewel of 5 colors. Black Lizard is, or else the joy up, but was looking at it, and eventually removed the key ring from the handbag. Opens the glass door of one of the decorative base. While opening the lid of the silverware, the large diamond center it was enshrined in. Well, nice of you is something other jewelry. I like Nanzo everyone our stones. Is now famous of me the museum. I just like a rose one. Sane, thank you. It does not say the irony. But Ms. Sane, it would be how will you respond words. She was silent while face down the eye sadly. Come on, let's go to more back. What show to antique because I have a still a lot. Then, as the advance of the corridor of the underground, and I think there's enclosure by arranging multiply by the old-fashioned paintings. Group of statues next to it. Then the marble statue of the western ones. Venerable hairy ancient crafts. To truly museum of name it was a rich display products. Not so muka. In addition, according to the description of the black robe women, most of them of arts and crafts. The local museums, art museum, the famous of the goods that had subsided to a treasure trove of aristocratic millionaire, and swap the clever imitations towards the genuine that it is housed at this underground museum. If it is with the fact the museum was subjected to the exhibition the imitations as we get, noble millionaire would have Shinzo the imitations as a legacy of the heirloom. And, of course, it is the owner, the general public, nor the unsuspecting this little, well surprising that what? But, this is, it's just that's a private museum that could be good. A little work of the head. If there is the sufficient financial resources pirates, anyone I think that can imitate. I is not what I Nanti trying to boast in these kind of things not. Is what you want them to see us in Mr. Sane. Still no in this first. And, Kanahora is. And turn the corner of the corridor. There is quite different from the past. A strange sight had Hirake. Oh, if this is not a wax doll. But it will be what will be wax doll. One of the walls, as between the three length, turned to glass, such as the show window. Within it, one person is a woman of Westerners. One person is a man of stagehand, Japanese youth and girls, and is one by one. Convenience for people of men and women. Naked body. Who has Tacha Hadakari? Who has crouching? It is lying some things. Arm in arm stood me section. Became Nyodachi. Blacks, such as boxing players, on top of the knee squatting, and remembering both elbows. Blonde daughter that with the hozu, lying face down at length. Black hair was bushy to corrugate around the shoulder. Put the jaw in arm superimposed. Daughter Japan, which sits staring at here. By raise the muscles of the body all over in the attitude of disgust Japan who are these men and women entirely. Called the appearance body, as there is no one to compare. It is beautiful. Ho 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 ho. Wibi Raw doll was good. But, in Naku and it's not too well done to you score? Look approached to more glass. You know, in the body of the people, it has grown a fine downy award. Nanti Lanugo of growing raw doll. It's never heard. Mr. Sane is suddenly intrigued, close to the glass plate. Even the horror of their own destiny. Forget about. In the dolls there was a kind of mysterious charm. Well, it really grows downy hair. And, the color of the skin. Even the fine wrinkles. Nanti wax doll was closing in on so true. I wonder if there's one. Sane, this, I think the wax doll. Black clothes lady. Contains a bad smile of thin slightly. Asking us to tantalize. His words were somehow Sane was the Doken. Somehow, different from the doll. There will be terrible such a place. Sane, once the Naku is. Beautiful figure of just in that way human beings have seen the animal specimens of stuffed. How to save his invention forever. Great and do not think. It a no by. Those of I of subordinates. Gonna have devised a person at the human stuffed. Here you are. What the person's prototype, not entered until the place called yet fully but, I do not have a death, such as something wax, alive wood, but the contents am still the wax, the skin and the hair, gonna human true, there's the human soul is dog dire undua, human smell is left, wonderfully to the Naku, in, young beautiful human being, as it is stuffed, the beauty must have done is gradually lost if alive. Forever Nanti keep kept at any museum, if it cannot be imitated. He does not even think of, quote, black clothes lady, cracking in with excitement in my words became the more and more eloquent. Come on, come to here. Gonna on display is something more wonderful in the back. This is no matter how lifelike, even if you have a soul. But I cannot move. In the back is, no there is one that is moving with a peachy. Leave guided, also in turn one step angle. In hand, rattle the static landscape up to now. There is art that moves or displayed, of thick iron bar, if there is something like a cage of a lion or tiger. In it, along with an electric stove burning brightly. It one of the humanity has been confined. It was the Japanese, much like the movie actor called T. 24. Beauty young man who stood 5 years old at the water's edge. It is a clean, shapely bodied around naked. It has been placed in a cage as one animal of the beautiful beast. The hair he was bushy, so as to tear off with both hands. Had been traveling around a walk and irritated in a cage. And find the appearance of black-clothes women, as in the monkey of the zoo, while Yusabori the horizontal bar. In a loud voice was the out screaming, "Wait, Dokufu. What I feel difference is the will to care differences at me. Me killed rather quickly. I'm also Nanzo in a cage. I do not want to live another day. Korra, Akiro, here, drilling me." Quote, he projects a white arm from between the horizontal bar. Tried to grab the black clothes of the woman thief. Well, I do not man get so angry. No beautiful faces, not the ruins. Yeah, you wish street. Soon to now, I bring to stifle. Then, K, which has been living in this cage until recently in the same way as a child's. I will give in leftover to doll that does not take forever to year. Ho 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 ho. Black clothes woman was brutally ridiculed. For example, for good sake, son of a bitch IK childs became doll. Or it s. Finally do I killed that person. And do. Who I was stuffed doll. Human is Nanzo doll. I'm not a toy of difference. Chito but erda close to me. The German guy of pardon is not. Gonna il kamakroshi one and all. I'll stifle bite to the throat. Ho 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 ho. In one of the well now. If Chima is I good to keep at most rampage. I'd like a doll. Because I cannot move like a stone. And, for me is, thus see that rampage of the beautiful boy but, gonna fun this on no. Ho 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 ho. Black clothes lady, while enjoyment of the agony of youth, went to preach to the likely further new fear. You're gone K-child san, would be lonely. Also look to go to anywhere in the zoo. The beast of the cage I think is the most instances the male and female have a matching set. From the other previously. To Anta I think if you do not take care of the bride. I did not try everything. And, today, finally, the bride's here take my name were I not such a, look, would be a beautiful bride. How? In Naku, meet the satisfaction? Quote, when Mr. Sine hear it, feels and chills. Was also unable to do with the trembling jerky as around the chin. Now is the time. The whole picture of the evil machinations of the black lizard was revealed. Woman thief is, and beautiful Sine to naked, in order to throw into the cage. Then, look at the time, stripped her of rawhide, as horrible stuffed doll, in order to decorate the devil of museums. Arihodo and the pains of, I've been kidnapped her. Oh, Mr. Sine, you'll have trembling as if Nasu was that? Or not trembling? Read leaves. You know, your role is, again, this your son-in-law's. You will not even altogether bad. Or even if not called to be summoned to that, notice does not meet the satisfaction. I can, and the other perfectly, because I've decided to do that. We have to put up with. Quote, Mr. Sine is too much of Bukimi of fear. Did not have energy to hear the other mouth. Standing what was barely, and in the head is turned to a smooth stop and empty. Was likely Kuzuori and dizzy. Large water tank. Sine, I know there are things to show you yet. Come on, welcome to here. This time, rather than at the zoo. I know that I boast of aquarium. Black lizard is a tremble Sine. While favors taking the hand. Also just around the next corner. There is, and has become a long underpass row awkward, are laid glass-walled large water tank on the back, on between the water tank. So are attached as very bright electric lights, through the front of the thick glass plate. The pattern in the water was looked to take in hand. Aquarium frontage, depth. There is also enough together between one and its bottom. Strange seaweed, like countless snake, which fluctuates tangled. However, this would why aquarium. Others are of the seaweed, or not even the invisible shadow of the fish. I would not have our fish. But I is not that strange want. The eye of the zoo. Witches was not an anti-beast just because our fish not in the aquarium. Not at all. Funny thing is not if. Black clothes lady with the Usawara eye also began to sieve the terrible eloquence into this. I still no play to put the human being. Fish something more. I do not palm maybe how much funny. But human beings also beautiful that excitement in the cage. Have thrown the man into the water. Underwater dance would be, no matter how great. Quote, Mr. the Sine. It is not a voice of another black robe woman. Was a vision of horror movies that spread to vividly to field vision full. In the dark water, what was wriggling something white, from among the massive snake that reared its ugly crawling and goose neck. The face of people in huge dazed, up here on the surface of the glass, has a painful breath as up and carp, and shut-eye. The face is not a man frown eyebrows, nor old, not a young woman's. Hate likely, this is by no means in others. They are struggling in the tangled snake. Oh, eye of Sine's own. Well, I do not think the great Nanti beautiful you play, dat any masterpiece, dat any sculpture, from it, dat genius of any dance. Do. Life in exchange of the will was sometimes expressed so much of beauty its art. Quote, but, Mr. Sine the other, had not heard this bizarre eloquent. I breath did not last so much. She is in the illusion. It is drunk copious water. Mogakeru struggled only. Then, I had finally forced the moon. And the anguish and fear that one in the body is. He had finally to syncope her. When the black robe woman began pointing both hands trying to prop up her and suddenly noticed Mr. Sine the other, and Kuna as jellyfish, on the floor of the bottom of the concrete, had gotten broken debris. White beast. Whether it was between how much, I do not know clearly. Eventually, when we opened the suddenly positive noticed eye, Mr. Sine is, first of all, to feel like the body all over have been directly exposed to the air. Touch even try anywhere even though the duck smooth. Even nothing to what the caught. In other words, she is in stark naked. He was lying there. When the notice and highway, the rod of thick iron in front of the eye is standing anything this nothing this as fringes. Oh, it was found. Here. He's such in a cage. She is in between that fainted. It had been put into the cage. To be continued. Thank you for your viewing. If you like please subscribe to the channel. I am very encouraged.